So in this video, I want to talk about Joey's video, and this is on his second channel to be very clear, his video called The Anime Tourist Problem. And I wanted to talk about it because I think it's a very interesting video. I've watched it all, I just kind of paused on a part of his face that just like shows it. Like, there you go, there's the video. I thought it was very interesting because I would say the first like 8 to 10 minutes of the video is more about him talking about himself than him actually talking about the actual conversation of like anime tourists. And it kind of got really funny because he mischaracterized what the word tourist meant at the start of the video, and then he also used the word weeb or weeaboo incorrectly at the start because he was like, oh well, the word weeaboo is like tourist. And I'm like, no, they're completely different words in completely different contexts. And then, after he said that, he then used the word weeaboo correctly, and then used the word that is being used correctly. And I was just like, oh my god, he actually got it this time. Like, but why did he say it originally incorrectly? And then he went back and did it incorrectly again with the word tourist, and then used it correctly. It's just like, I feel like this is one of the most wishy-washy videos I've ever seen out there. And I was starting to get really good hope that maybe we were going to get like old school The Anime Man back. I was like, maybe there's some hope. I mean, it was kind of funny, like partway through the video at the start, he was like, oh yeah, so many people commented to me saying, oh, we need you back to save the anime community again. And I was like, I guarantee you very few people, I bet you like one person, like one of his most diehard fans probably said that. And he's like, oh, I feel so good now that people want me to save the anime community because one person... I was like, going for that video, I was like, dude, I know my ego can be big, but Jesus Christ, dude, settle down. I know you've got your 3-something million subscribers, but you need to settle down with the ego. It felt like most of the video was about himself and not about the actual root of the issue, but he didn't even want to talk about any specific channels either. Like, it's clear that he's talking about The Anime Man, right? If you don't know what that channel is, just instead of typing The Anime Man, A-M-A-N at the end of it, just type in men, M-E-N, and you'll know. But most of you that are watching my videos already know what I'm talking about. It was very clear that's what he was talking about, but he didn't really want to give any attention. And I said in my last video, I said, when you compare the subs channel sizes, I can tell you right now, them being bigger than him bugs him. He won't admit it, but it does. It actually bugs him a lot. And I wouldn't blame him. He's been around in the anime community for much longer. I'd be irritated as well if a bunch of tourists rolled in 2020 and then turned around and took over and grew bigger because they made a bunch of like short form sloppy content. Again, if you like that content, that's fine. But in my opinion, it's sloppy content. So I can definitely tell that he's probably irritated by it and he probably doesn't want to give them any more attention than probably what they've already got. So he just kind of wants to talk about the tourist problem and then make his video. But honestly, for 24 minutes long, he kind of goes around in a loop. But like I said, he mischaracterizes the word tourist and then misuses the word weeaboo, which is weeb, by the way. Weeb and weeaboo are the exact same word. And then uses them correctly. And to go with the pure, and I don't like using Google for things, but I'll use it in this context. Like the word weeaboo is a derogatory slang for non-Japanese person who is excessively obsessed with Japanese culture, particularly anime and manga, often to the point of wishing they were Japanese, right? And then the term evolved from weeaboo, which was used to describe people who use Japanese words incorrectly, idolizing culture while having superficial knowledge and consider other cultures less worthy. While originally an insult, some fans have reclaimed the term as a self, which I think is stupid. Because I've seen many channels that use the word weeb and weeaboo in their titles and in their channel names, and they use it in thumbnails. I think it's stupid because the word weeb and weeaboo is still a derogatory term. It has not been coined as like some like, I would say the word otaku in the West has been more coined as a a group for people to kind of like self like identify as a collective group. While the word otaku is still used as a derogatory term in Japan. I know some people are like in my other video, they're like, oh, did you? It's like, yeah, I know. But the word otaku is more used like the word nerd as well. But the word weeb and weeaboo is still over here, at least in my opinion, at least how I perceive it, is still used in a derogatory way. So I didn't really get why Joey used it in the way that he did at the start. And then he correctly, because the word weeb also, with that extra context, is like someone that goes down the street that dresses like half like an anime character all the time. Like, cosplaying is fine, but if you're doing it like all the time as like a normal date, it's like, imagine going to like your family's birth, like your mother's or father's birthday or a wedding, and you're dressed like an anime character, and it's like, dude, stop right there. Or people that kind of go around, and I used this in my other video, kind of being like, desu, baka, like that kind of thing, where it's like really like weeby cringy stuff, where they're like using half English, half Japanese, mix it together because they don't know Japanese correctly. So they're like talking to a friend going, oh, you're just such a baka. That's it. Like, they're just using words, slamming in a sentence and going, look, I'm Japanese. I'm a anime character. That's a weeaboo. That's a weeaboo right there. So I feel like Joey was kind of like, oh, well, this is the word tourist. But I feel like at the start, he was using the word tourist in the pure sense of what a tourist is. Someone that consumes anime in a surface level. That, I don't think, is what people have a problem with. And that's not really what the word tourist is used in the context of how most of us are using it. The word tourist is exactly how he described it in the second part, which is someone that goes into anime, only consumes surface level, and will turn around and claim that they have more knowledge and understand anime better and try and force their opinion as a state of fact. Also, for many of us that have called out other content creators and YouTubers that are tourists, are ones that will try and force sort of censorship and certain ideals that are kind of just like, you know, free rends some evil political kind of posturing kind of thing. And it's just like, okay, this is stupid. And I've seen people on the left and people on the right that do that. So it's like, that to us is what the word tourist means. I feel like the better word, in my opinion, to use is anime posers, those that try to pretend to be anime fans, but really they're just using it as a way to grandstand and pose. That's why I like to use that word, because the word tourist, I think, gets misunderstood as like a proper tourist, rather than used in the way that it is being used now. That's why I think Joey kind of misuses it and then uses it correctly and then misuses it again and then uses it correctly. He just confused me in his video. But then he also tries to say that, oh, people that are new to anime, right, are most likely to be a tourist. Like, he's like, oh, we've all been anime tourists at some point. I mean, okay, we could try and argue that maybe we've all had like a tourist take, but I feel like there's a difference between having like a bad take and being an anime tourist. Because I feel like there's like a line, like it's like good, like karma points or something, like where like you just have like a really tourist take and you're like, okay, you just gain like some negative karma points or something. And then there's just like people that just like go really all in on being like, yeah, let's push for like the most like tourist type of mindset or the most biggest posers out there. I don't really agree with the idea that, oh, we've all been tourists at some point. Maybe he has. And I could argue why that could be the case, because for someone that talks about videos, like he talks at the start and he highlights some videos that he's made. And I just kind of thought it was funny when he used this one here, right? The worst anime ever. I watched one, and he has SAO just right there. This is the same individual that made a review on SAO a long time ago saying it was like the best anime. And then said it was the worst, right? Right when it was popular to hate SAO, did he suddenly hate SAO? He did the same thing for No Game No Life as well, where it was really popular to like No Game No Life, and he suddenly liked it, he cosplayed it, his girlfriend Aki, well, fiancé Aki at the time, girlfriend, Aki cosplayed as the character, and then suddenly when it was popular to hate No Game No Life along with Gigit, they both hated on No Game No Life. So I don't really take his opinions serious, and you shouldn't take anyone's opinion serious on the internet, including mine. Which is kind of ironic, because a lot of people think that I really have this like high and mighty mindset. You should never take my opinion serious. Like, I'm just a random dude on the internet. But people like to know my opinion, and I like to give my opinion. So there's my opinion, but don't take it serious. But I'm just pointing out that Joey has this tendency where he will flip-flop. So to me, I just feel like maybe he thinks he used to be a tourist, where he thought being a tourist was when he liked SAO because it was the cool thing, and now suddenly he's got better refined taste. I just feel like he kind of rides on the waves more than anything. And he kind of talks at the start about like, oh yeah, people have been asking me. It's like, it's very clear he wanted to talk about it because everyone's talking about the tourist problem. And it's a big trendy topic right now, so he wanted to jump in on it, which is fine. I've always said there's nothing wrong with trend chasing. Just don't pretend you're not trend chasing, Joey. You do it all the time. You say, I don't chase trends. Proceeds to chase trends. Still remember when he said on his stream. Not trying to hate them. I just wish he'd be more transparent and self-aware. He has a tendency not to do that. But I thought it was a really interesting video because there was a point where he was talking about, like, how he wanted to get back into, like, cooking, like, people with tourist takes and all that. And I was like, oh, are we going to get, like, old school Joey back? And then I suddenly twigged, oh, there's a reason why. Let's look at his analytics. 70,000 daily average views. This is his main channel. Let's go to his second channel. 30,000. Right? You go to his second channel here. Yeah. Main channel. Oh, look. His views aren't really doing quite as well. Some of them do really well, like over a year ago. But then more so recently, his views have kind of dropped. YouTube's algorithm has changed a lot. And then I've noticed he's trying to push more into anime now. He's trying to get back into the roots of anime content. And then that's when I suddenly realized he wants to get back into anime because I don't think his channels are doing as well as they used to be. So he wants to go back to the roots of what he used to do that made him successful. And that's when I was just like, oh, you've gained that passion back for anime right when your channels are doing really badly and you suddenly are like, oh, maybe I should go back to what actually made me popular. Anime. Joey, that's literally what people have been criticizing other AniTubers for doing as tourists. That's literally what people criticize the anime men for doing. Jumping on anime right at a specific point when it made their career much better. Like, for the Anime Man, it was in 2020 when anime was suddenly popular, they jumped in on it. It looks like you're jumping back in anime because your other channels aren't doing as well. And again, maybe I'm wrong. But to be honest, I've never seen numbers this low before. Be transparent. It feels like you're just jumping back on the train because it's suddenly you want to rebuild that career back. And to be honest, his second channel seems to be doing better. If I'm going to be honest, I do think YouTube's algorithm has drastically changed. A lot more longer form content, like what Joey's other main channel was doing, is no longer doing as well. It needs to be like high action kind of content, but I also do think, I don't know, it's some of the blog stuff that he does really quite well. And I also think it's because of this. His second channel has, and if I just look again, he has 3.35 million subscribers. His main channel, his main channel is 3.35. His second channel is 813k. I can guarantee you, most of the people subbed to his second channel are more of his real diehard fans. Those are the people that will watch every video that he produces, regardless of what it's about. Like, a lot of it's blog stuff, which is people will watch that regardless because they're his diehard fans. I think he's realized that a lot of people just aren't interested in the content that he has to produce that is outside of just being about him. So I think he's trying to go back to being more anime driven, more blog driven. What he used to do way back before he ever broke up 1 million subs on the main channel, and go back to his roots because that's what his diehard fans really want. It's just more of him, rather than doing all the high editing, high production, costly, timely videos. I think that's one of the reasons why he's going back to that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I'm pointing out the obvious patterns. Suddenly he's got his passion back for anime. Suddenly he's doing anime content now, right when the analytics and the algorithm has changed a lot. And I think this is the thing. When you grow as a content creator, you do get a lot of dead weight. That's why it's actually good that YouTube does remove dead weight subs. Because if you build up too much dead weight and you can't get rid of that dead weight, it will hold your channel down. It's affected this channel that I'm on right now massively. Because I built a lot of subscribers during 2020. That's when the tourist wave came in, and a lot of them came in, subbed to my channel, and they went, nope, not interested in anime as much anymore, and all left. Now, my second channel, which is like just over 15k, does substantially better. And I've considered, and I'm still considering, even daily I think about this, cutting back, if not quitting this channel, and just focusing on the analysis channel. And just not doing so much of like some of the content that I've been doing now on the channel talking about censorship, I would probably still do censorship topic stuff on here, a lot of the looser form, but just focusing on the analytical content, focusing on character breakdowns, topics, tropes, stuff like that on that channel, because I enjoy doing that stuff. But it's hard to kind of balance two channels. It's either going to put all effort into one or the other, and I kind of prefer to do more content on the analysis channel. But it's one of those where it's like, I kind of just want to focus on the analysis content and not do the news content that people keep begging me for, which most of them don't even watch anyway. And I just use the community tab and I use my Patreon Discord server as a way to promote the news. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that is because I think a lot of content creators are looking at this as well. That we need to go and reboot our channels and start careers over again and start from the ground up and build up, because we've A, got a lot of dead weight subs, or B, the algorithm has changed. And I think it's a bit of both. And that's why Joey's looking at changing his content. Nothing wrong with that. But I just thought it was kind of ironic that he suddenly brought it up and like, oh, I should get back into cooking people in the... I'm like, you know what? If we can get old school Joey back, I'd be happy. But I do feel like there's a little bit of like... Even with his video, and I'm just being honest here, even with his video here, it is so wishy-washy. Like 8 minutes to 10 minutes of it is just him talking more about himself than the actual contents of the actual word tourism. And then he gets the definition incorrect for both weeb and tourist, and then gets it correct, then gets it incorrect, then gets it kind of correct again. And he's kind of all over the place. And I think it's because he's trying to refer to everyone as a tourist, but I don't really feel like that's fair to use. Everyone has a bad take, but I don't think that just automatically makes you a tourist. I think what makes you a tourist is with the intent of going into the anime community, doing exactly as he describes. Someone that has surface level anime knowledge, tries and injects their opinions as a state of fact, tries and forces censorship, political views, tries and like talks down on the community, tries and pushes the old anime community and go, yeah, well, this stuff is better and I have better taste, which is ironic in saying that because I just criticized another content creator that's much larger than me that does exactly that. Pushes, and they're old. They're like an old anime-tuber that pushes their view as a state of fact, says my taste in anime is better and you should only watch what I watch. And then when I cooked them in my video on the analysis channel, they then got really upset at me and tried to claim I stole their thumbnail design. So yeah, I think there is tourists that are old and new within the anime community. But I think, again, that's the thing. And I do agree with Joey on one thing at the end, or throughout the video. Even if you came during 2020 or even came in 2025, that doesn't defaultly make you an anime tourist. What makes you a tourist is the intent when coming into the anime community. And I think that is what we're trying to gatekeep out. But if you're a new anime fan, 2020 or 2025 or whenever, and you're just enjoying it for what it is, and you're not acting in that manner that I've described before, then you're not a tourist and you're welcome in. There's welcome in, come in through the door. I wasn't always to make it sound like you can leave, but you can come in, join the anime community. Don't feel like you have to leave. But the issue is the other group. So don't feel like just because you join now means you're a tourist. No, you're not. It's more about the wider definition of it. Because I do feel like the word tourist is really weirdly misleading in how it's defined. Because like the word tourist is just like someone that just entered into the anime community. But the way the word tourist has been used is more in the actual derogatory sense of calling them out for the bad behavior. It's like is it Logan or Jake Paul? When they go to Japan and they just be disrespectful. That kind of thing. So hope that gives a bit more context. Again, I inherently thought Joey's video was interesting, his perspective is interesting, but I just kind of thought it was funny when he started talking about like getting back into anime. I got a little bit hopeful of old school Joey, and then I was like, wait, let me check the analytics. And then I was like, that explains it. I still hope we get old school Joey back, because I kind of liked old school Joey, but at the same time, old school Joey did have some hypocritical takes, like, oh, SEO is great, then it's bad, then it's like flip-flops. And he still does that with a lot of animes where it's like he'll like a show that's really popular, but then 2 minutes later he'll dunk on it on trash taste because it's the cool thing to do. It's just like, I don't know. I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm not trying to be like overly toxic, but at the same time, again, I have to remember a lot of his takes And also just the way that he gets really like butthurt when he receives the same criticism that he gives to other people. Because that's another thing as well. He loves to give criticism to the anime community and certain people in the anime, well, types of people in the anime community. But when he does the same behavior and receives the same criticism, he doesn't like it. And he has very, very, very thin skin. So, yeah. Again, love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.